Welcome to another episode of Bruisers Eats with Badass Peeps. My name is Jud Haley. I'm a singer-songwriter and your host today. Today, we're checking out Lucky's 13 in Burnsville, Minnesota. And we got a good friend, Mark Stary, waiting for us inside. Make sure you hang in there for the end of the episode. We got something really special for you. Join us. Sit with the very talented Mark Stary. Originally from Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, Mark honed his skills with the guitar and performance while attending college at the University of Wisconsin-Stout, where he studied art education. Following his education, Mark moved to St. Paul, Minnesota, where he dove into music, art, and entrepreneurship. His multi-talented businessman is also the founder of Mark Stary Music Podcast, featuring local and national artists. Mark has shared the stage with many artists such as Travis Tritt, Pat Green, The Knack, and even Sarah Evans. Welcome to Bruisers Eats with Badass Peeps.
Thanks, Jud. Thanks for having me here. One of our favorite places, Lucky's 13. Yeah. Good old Burnsville, Minnesota. Thank you, man. Nice intro.
Hey, thanks, man. So why don't you fill in the gaps? I know there's a lot that your bio and the stuff that I dug up doesn't really highlight.
My idols in college and as a kid were Minnesota artists such as G.D. Leighton, Brian Leighton, specifically, Mahoney, Martin Zeller, folks like that. That's were my heroes when I was through relatives of mine in the Twin Cities, growing up in a small town, Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Everything seemed like 10 years behind, whatever. So those are my heroes. So when I was at UW-Stout, I got an art ed degree, but all I really did was focus on becoming a professional musician. My goal is to be a full-time musician in the Twin Cities like these guys. And so had friends in the Twin Cities and moved up right after college. I had all friends were talking about them to go buy a house and go get married and stuff. And I remember telling my friend Dan, I said, I'm going to move to the Twin Cities. I'm going to be a starving artist and play music in the Twin Cities is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's what I've done pretty much ever since. But I moved up here, moved to New Brighton and started playing little coffee houses and things like that, and still continuing my gigs in Wisconsin all over I did in college. So yeah.
So you're coming out of Nashville and you decide, you know what, I've heard enough that I've got something in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, in terms of a career. And I think I'm going to go back to Minnesota and I'm going to focus in that area and perform more and hone more of what you do today is as a result of coming from Nashville to St. Paul.
Artistically, in my opinion, Nashville trashed me. I played for a publishing company once, and I had this song. It was on, I played it at a million weddings. I think my publishing even had it signed. And what publishing company? This songwriter guy's wife had his publishing company. And there was a song in there, a line in there that said, "You picked me up and turned my life around." A song called "This Love, This Life" off my Raunchy Talk record. "You picked me up and turned my life around" was the line of the song. They're listening to it, and it's kind of like a TV show when they're doing all these publishing company deals. So she looks at me and she slams her hand down and she goes, "What kind of, you could have played them Amazing Grace." They said it was the worst song they ever heard. They just rip on it, you know? And so she goes, "What kind of man are you that you need some woman to pick your ass up and turn your life around?" And I go, "Whoa, I give up."
What's the worst moment in your career?
I don't know if I can just go right to one. I learned what's the 3 greatest songs of all time. Star Spangled Banner, Amazing Grace, and the song you just wrote yesterday. You think it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you, you know? So every time I put out a song or put out some record, I think it's going to be the next Beatles White Album, you know? And so I'll dump a bunch of money into it and do this and do that. But, you know, most of the time it's a complete mistake. So I can't even count how many dumb entrepreneurial mistakes I've made over the years.
Talk about the moment when you decided, okay, coming back to Minnesota and making a real solid go at it is probably the direction I should go.
Well, I think my aha moment when I was a kid listening to Guns N' Roses, because I've never questioned it ever. And like I said, during my Nashville time, I was still playing full time up here.
Yeah.
I was just traveling back and forth. That was more transitioning from like my performance was always number 1, and then number 2 was like my songwriting stuff. Now my number 2 is just the podcast stuff. You know, so that's where that
you've always had this
switch
alternating,
but I've always number 1. When I was a kid, like I said, I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to run with like the Martins and the GB and Mahoney, and like those are my Mount Rushmore, Adam Levy, Suburbs, that kind of stuff. That's always been my focus. So as far as when I want to be a musician, I think the second I was born and the second I heard the first song, I've never questioned it ever. Ever since I was a kid, there's stuff you have to do. I went and got an art teaching degree just to get by and whatever, but I never.
What was holding you back from becoming a full-on professional of the music and entrepreneurial scene?
Nothing. I've always wanted to do it. Nothing. No choice. Nothing's ever held me back. Besides money, like just trying to money enough to get to do it. Yeah, never.
So fearful of not earning enough.
Not fearful, just of going to jail for not paying my car payments and house payments and shit. No, just nothing. No, I've always wanted to do it. I'm going to do it, and that's it. So money would be it. Just I would have jobs to get me to do it.
Zero fear.
No, zero fear. Absolutely.
What is the best piece of advice that you've received?
Mike Dungan, the president and CEO of Capitol Records, told me to keep my unique style and not move to Nashville and be one of those Nashville dudes.
Do not move to Nashville.
Do not move to Nashville.
What is a personal habit that contributes to your daily success?
Stupidity.
Okay.
Stupidity and not wanting to grow up and get a regular job.
Well, yeah.
No, in all reality, no. Just like I said, really that journey thing, man. I'm very, very passionate about being a better musician, a better songwriter, better singer. So I think that urge to like you discover another artist and like to try to just get pick up a riff here, pick up a song there, or a style there, and just kind of always moving forward and being persistent about it.
Progressive.
Yeah.
What are you currently listening to?
This is my favorite question of the entire day. I spent all day tracking, we're doing a hard rock record, and I'm exclusively a Swedish rock snob. So I'm listening to nothing but Swedish rock and roll right now.
How do you get into that?
And it started with the band Ghost. I like them. And then it branched off to more stuff I was able to kind of listen to, and I've always liked that kind of more rock, more badass edge kind of stuff. But I don't like the scream stuff. I don't like the real deep tuning, and I don't like the scream stuff. So it's Swedish rock and roll. To me, it's guys that sing. And I have a very high singing voice. It's singing, it's songwriting, but it's got like a 60s, 70s rock feel. I'm a big blues guy. You know, I love blues. I love the harmonica blues. You know, I do that shit all the time. That's my favorite thing. So it's kind of this bluesy rock with a normal singer. A more creepy subject matter somewhat, but that's all I listen to is Swedish rock and roll. Bands such as Troubled Horse, which is members of the old band Witchcraft. Like,
Okay.
I'm die hard.
Okay.
Savartanet is my favorite one. Another one. Graveyard, that's easy to remember. Graveyard Spectacular. Hollis is one of the best singers I've ever heard. Cadaver's a three-piece rock band. It's one of my hobbies.
Hi, I'm Jud Haley. Thanks for watching the videos and participating in the contest. Many Brews and Eats fans understand the best part of subscribing to your favorite program directly is together we can run the episodes the way we'd like. I'd like to introduce to you Brews and Eats crew member, which provides many benefits for less than the cost of one lunch. The benefits of being a Brews and Eats crew member are many. First, you can gain access to more of the episodes you love early. You can also gain access to the private Facebook group where there are hours of Facebook Live interviews with amazing guests and more. Also, we're going to send you coupons to the restaurants we ate at every single month, and opportunities to join me and my guests on set with a free meal and maybe some cocktails. Opportunities to win gift cards, free meals at the restaurants that we ate at, and much, much more. And what makes this even better is the first month is free and you can cancel anytime, which also means you're not stuck feeling like this is a blind date gone bad that you can't get out of. And best of all, you'll gain access to the Brews and Eats crew member area. You get hours of videos, podcasts, hundreds of dollars of coupons, and more. And it only costs $9.97. So again, if you're a viewer of Brews and Eats with Badass Peeps that wants access to exclusive content and early releases of the videos, understand this. I won't be offering this special price on the website, and you can only get this offer here and now. You'll be entered into another drawing to win the t-shirt and a $50 Visa gift card. So claim your spot today, right now, by clicking on the button below. What is a book or a documentary that you could recommend and why?
I would do both. I would do documentary for sure. Would be Straight No Chaser. A documentary about the life and times of Thelonious Monk, one of the greatest jazz piano players of all time.
Thelonious Sphere, born 1918.
It's shot in black and white. It's produced by Clint Eastwood, and it's really, really cool story about this artsy, crazy piano guy, Thelonious Monk, which everyone should look up and download anyway. And his putting these bands together, his way he would interact with producers and studios. He was just this weird, cool guy, and he wore the cool kind of derby gangster hats and stuff. And wonderful songs such as Straight No Chaser. He would just bitch at these producer guys. It's like he wore glasses with no lenses in them. He was just this cool guy, and he'd stand up, and when the bass player take a solo or guitar player take a solo, he'd get up and he'd spin in kind of a circle and sit down. Like it gives you freedom to be artsy fartsy, and also it's reality. He's living in he lives like in an apartment in Chicago with his wife, whatever, and he gets up and it's like the reality is the music. Like you can get from playing these big shows in Paris, but we're not all getting rich off this stuff, especially with him as a black jazz guy,
right?
And also there are times in like the Blue Note pub, like where they would play all these jazz heads play. It's similar to what you and I do. Like it's a mindset thing. Yep. Let's say this is a kind of a cool club in Burnsville, but it would be similar to like one of these jazzy nightclub dinner club places.
Yep.
And that's what those guys did.
Yeah.
Same thing, you and I are doing stuff like this. It's super cool. Book would be, for me, my favorite book would be I, Claudius by Robert Graves. It's a historical fiction book about the Caesar Claudius. It's really badass, and it's about Claudius, who was an invalid, had a terrible stammer, speaking whatever, how he became the emperor of Rome amongst all this crazy stuff and just persevered. Us as musicians, we have to adapt at all times to keep up with current trends, keep up with how the place is being booked, money stuff, whatever. And this guy just adapted and became king of Rome, or Caesar of Rome, and lived through it all until his wife ended up
This
killing
is a
him,
historical book.
Yeah, historical fiction. And so historical fiction edit. At a breezy point, little grammar slip up there.
Paul, if you're watching.
I call that breezy point grammar. A breezy point accent there for a minute.
It's the truth. finally, how can we connect with you on the interwebs, or how can we get to a show? How do we know when you have a show?
The same thing as any other musician on planet Earth. Facebook, I make little gimmick ads every single week to put up that you guys tag the bars in. So Facebook, markstarymusic.net. My podcast is Mark Stary Music Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all the other podcast places that's around. Check it out. Come to a show. Live music, live podcasting. This is all good stuff. What you're doing here, Jud, this is all great, man. You got to support that stuff.
Thank you, brother. How do you connect with your podcast? What do we type in to search for your podcast?
I'm an iPhone guy, so I type in my name, Mark Stary, Stary, music, and it comes up, and you can subscribe to it, pick whatever shows you want. SoundCloud, the same thing. I have links on my website, markstarymusic.net, and I also have it on my Facebook page as well.
Fantastic. Mark, you are a badass. I appreciate you hanging out with us on another episode of Brews and Eats with Badass Pete's. My name is Jud. This is Mark Stary. Thank you very much. We'll see you on another episode.